Right, so, Restored. Restored, as Carl has briefly said, is working to end violence against women. And we work with and through the church to do that. And the most common thing that we get told at Restored is, oh, surely not in our church. Not in our church. Everyone's so nice in our church. The men are so lovely. That could possibly not happen here. Maybe that one down the road, but not our church. But sadly, it is in our church, and Christians do commit domestic abuse, and sadly, even kill their wives. So, we'll go backwards, I'll get this right. So the 4 women, you've got those 4 women, and you're probably aware of the statistics that 1 in 3 women globally and 1 in 4 women in the UK will suffer abuse in her lifetime. So one of those 4 women that you know and love can sadly be abused. I have 4 nieces. The thought of one of my nieces suffering domestic abuse is so abhorrent, it makes me sometimes feel physically sick, and I want to jump in front of them and shout, stop, no. And I'm sure if that's how I feel, how does God feel? How does God feel breaking heart over something that is wholly and utterly preventable? Domestic abuse is a solvable issue. This isn't about the cure for cancer that we don't know about. This is a solvable issue. Men need to stop abusing women. And as you heard from Elaine this morning, 2 women a week in the UK are killed by a partner or former partner, and leaving a relationship is when they're at high risk. So when we get asked that question of why doesn't she just leave, if it was that bad she could just leave, well actually women are most at risk at death at that point, so we need to make a safety plan. And it's never ever that simple. There are multiple and complex issues of why a woman stays, and often the most common reason a woman stays is to protect the children, because they think they're protecting the children, and sadly often that is not the case. And it happens at major sporting events. So this is a story, I got it from Manchester. The Manchester statistics, as you can see, is that when England won their quarter-final game over Sweden, domestic abuse rose by 50% in Manchester. That's one. And the sad thing is that was a 50% increase on an average day. There's an average day for domestic violence reporting. That is absolutely outrageous. This is 2018 in the UK, and men are abusing women. An average day, 130 cases, 1 every 11 minutes. So how many women have been abused in Greater Manchester in the time that we've been here today? You start to think about this is a very real issue. It's here and it is in our churches. So what do we mean when we're talking about domestic abuse? What are we talking about? So yes, people know that it's physical abuse, but it's basically physical, psychological, sexual, emotional, financial abuse that takes place within an intimate or family-type relationship. And it forms a pattern of coercive and controlling behaviour. And that is really important, a pattern of coercive and controlling behaviour. And it can include forced marriage and honour crime, etc. But it's basically somebody using whatever tactic or tool is in their toolbox to maintain power and control over another person. And it can seem like simple things, and on their own, individually, they may seem innocuous, but over time, that building up of denigrating and diminishing a woman so that she's under complete control of a man. And it's at the heart of this is sin and selfishness. It's sin and selfishness and saying, you're less than I am, and you're there to serve my needs, and I will use whatever is in my power and control so that you are serving me because you don't count. And that is why, as Christians, we've got the answer, because the gospel utterly transforms that situation and says, puts Christ on the throne and us second. And the sad thing is that men who are choosing to abuse are choosing the illusion and the delusion that power and control is better than the love and the freedom that Christ brings. It is a criminal offence, and we need to be aware of that in the church. Domestic abuse is a crime, and we need to treat it as such. These are harsh issues, but women all over the UK and in our churches are suffering because of the abuse of men. And it is a hidden issue. Women very cleverly hide what is going on. So, is it in our churches? Well, we did some research with Coventry University and the University of Leicester, which was released in March this year. This is groundbreaking research, and Dr. Christian Owner is in the room, who did the research and deserves a medal there. She is at the back waving. Absolutely utter medal. This is groundbreaking research, never done before. Grateful for churches together across Cumbria. And this is what we found. That 1 in 4, and that includes men as well, 1 in 4 had suffering domestic abuse in their current relationship. And when you include past relationships in there, it increases to 42%. Now, if that's 1 in 4 across a very white, middle-class, rich Cumbria, what is it going to be like in our churches? It's in every church. Every church. We cannot get away from this. It is in our churches too. And then we get asked, well, those women aren't married to Christians. They can't be married to Christians. Christian men wouldn't do this. Well, actually, as you'll see from this research, and we've got, if you can't see it up there, do come to the Restored stand afterwards and pick up. We've got these leaflets for you to take away and pick up. Is that actually, it's more likely to be Christian men that are abusing them than non-Christian men. And it is men that are doing it. You can see here on the statistics, 90% of the cases involve male perpetrators. We have to face the hard reality and the facts. Then we need to do something about it. We can't stay silent any longer, because women stay silent because of the shame and the stigma that surrounds domestic abuse. The Right Reverend Christopher Coxworth, Bishop of Coventry, says, violence against women is a shocking reality that has pervaded most human cultures, and whether by turning a blind eye or a subliminal religious message to turn the other cheek, where Jesus would have confronted the evil, violence against women often goes unchallenged in our churches. So many times women have been told to turn the other cheek, to suck it up and to go back. It needs to stop. As Elaine was saying this morning, we need our theology. We need to get our theology right. So the question is if a woman was suffering domestic abuse in your church, where would she go? Would your church know what to do? And that's where we come in as Restored. We can help you with that. Because we are set up to say, where is the church and where are the men when it comes to ending violence against women? Because this is, as Carl said, a human issue, and we need both of us to respond. So Restored trains churches. We work with 318, another organisation that's here. We offer training for churches on how to respond to domestic abuse, what you can do, linking up with your local service provider, because women often have multiple and complex needs and churches can't do it on their own, so don't try. We also offer these church packs. We've got a few on our stand. Come and pick one up. These are available for free online. Download it, read it, educate yourself, get involved. This is available for free in multiple languages online. So if English isn't your first language, do take a look at what other languages are available. There's French, Spanish, Portuguese, Hindi, Swedish, if you speak Swedish. Take it, have a look. It's free. Let me get this right. I keep going the wrong way. There we go. So there's the line, restoredrelationships.org/church pack. Get involved and do something about it. And men, we need you to join in. Restored has a campaign called First Man Standing. And if I can find this slide again, there it is. And we want men to join in. We want men to close down the permission space for other men to abuse. It's challenging other men. What would Jesus do in that situation? It's a simple thing. He wouldn't be putting up with other men dissing and denigrating women. He'd be challenging it and keeping a short account. And we need men to join in the cause. So men, please come and sign up to be a first man standing and joining the cause. And we've got some Bible studies on our table for engaging men in the response. And at Restored, we are a co-directorship. I'm one half of the co-directorship, and my other co-director is Andrew Kaplan, who's sat at the back waving over there. And we model men and women working together to end violence against women, because we realise we need everybody on the field to sort this out. And like Martin's just said, we want to get to the fact that we're out of business because we've solved violence against women and there's no more violence against women. That's the place where we want to get to. So please, men, engage, join in the course, and get involved. Don't stand back, but make a stand to end violence against women. So I've given you some options of educate yourself, pick up a church pack, get training for your churches, take one of the Cumbria research things. But as most charities here, we are a small charity. We have less than 150 regular givers, and the best way you can help us as well is to give, is to sign up to give regularly to Restored and journey with us to end violence against women. Come and see us over at the stand. Don't go away without picking up some free resources because we need you. If you think of how many people are in this room, there's probably about 100 people. You could double our regular giving in one shot. How fantastic would that be? And help us join in that journey of bringing this to an end. Because remember, this is a solvable issue. We can end violence against women. Will you join us on this journey together? Thank you.